Have you ever looked someone straight in the eyes and thought, I know this person is lying, but later you discovered you were completely wrong? Or maybe the opposite happened. Someone told you something that sounded perfectly honest, and only later you realized it was a lie. It's a strange experience, and it raises a powerful question. If humans have such advanced brains, why are we actually so bad at detecting lies? You might think that it should be easy to notice when someone isn't telling the truth. But the surprising reality is that most people are not very good at spotting lies at all. Before we dive into this fascinating mystery of human behavior, take a quick moment to like this video and subscribe to Burn. If you enjoy discovering the hidden secrets of psychology and the human brain, on this channel we explore how the mind works and why people behave the way they do. Now let's imagine a simple situation. A friend tells you a story about why they were late. They sound calm, they look normal, and their explanation seems reasonable. Your brain listens to the words and tries to judge whether they are telling the truth. But here's the problem. Your brain is not actually designed to detect lies very easily. In fact, humans are naturally wired to trust others most of the time. Psychologists call this the truth bias. It means that our brains tend to assume people are telling the truth unless there is very strong evidence otherwise. This bias exists for a good reason. Human society depends on cooperation and communication. If we constantly assumed everyone was lying, everyday interactions would become extremely difficult. Because of this truth bias, our brain often gives people the benefit of the doubt, even when small signs of deception appear. We may ignore them because our brain prefers the easier explanation that the person is simply being honest. Another reason people struggle to detect lies is that many of the signals we believe in are actually unreliable. Movies and TV shows often suggest that liars always avoid eye contact, look nervous, or fidget a lot. But research in psychology shows that these signs are not always accurate. Some honest people naturally feel nervous during serious conversations, especially if they are being questioned. At the same time, skilled liars can remain very calm and confident. This makes it difficult to rely on simple body language clues. In reality, lying is often much more complex than people imagine. When someone tells a lie, their brain is doing several things at once. First, they have to invent a false story. Then they must remember the details of that story. At the same time, they try to appear natural so the other person does not become suspicious. This mental juggling can create small inconsistencies in behavior, but they are often subtle. The average person does not always notice these details because our brains are focused mainly on the conversation itself. Another important factor is that humans are surprisingly good at storytelling. When someone lies successfully, they often include believable details that make the story sound realistic. Our brains love coherent stories, so when the explanation sounds logical, we are more likely to accept it as true. Emotions can also influence how we judge honesty. If we trust someone or have a positive relationship with them, our brain may ignore warning signs. The emotional connection can make us less critical of their words. This is one reason why people sometimes fail to detect lies from close friends or family members. Trust makes communication smoother, but it can also make deception harder to recognize. Interestingly, even professionals such as police officers, judges, and investigators are not perfect at detecting lies. Studies have shown that the average person's ability to identify lies is only slightly better than random guessing. In many cases, accuracy is around 50 to 60%. One reason for this is that the brain relies heavily on patterns from past experiences. If a person behaves in a way that matches our expectation of honesty, we assume they are telling the truth. But a skilled liar can mimic those patterns very effectively. Another challenge is that lies are not always obvious. Some lies are small exaggerations, while others are carefully planned stories. The brain must analyze many signals at once, including tone of voice, facial expressions, and the structure of the story. Processing all this information in real time can be difficult. However, scientists have discovered that certain patterns sometimes appear in deceptive speech. For example, people who are lying may avoid giving very specific details, or may change parts of their story when asked to repeat it later. They might also pause longer before answering questions, because their brain needs extra time to create the response. But even these clues are not guaranteed proof of lying. Human behavior is extremely complex, and many factors can influence how someone speaks or reacts. Another fascinating aspect of deception is that the brain can sometimes convince itself that a lie is true. When people repeat a story many times, the memory can start to feel real, even if it was originally invented. This shows how flexible and powerful the human mind can be. Technology has attempted to solve the problem of lie detection through tools like polygraph tests, sometimes called lie detectors. These devices measure physical changes such as heart rate, breathing, and sweating while someone answers questions. The idea is that lying creates stress, which affects the body, but even these tools are not perfectly reliable. Stress can occur for many reasons, and some people remain calm even while lying. Because of this, many scientists believe that detecting lies is much more complicated than measuring simple physical reactions. The truth is that the human brain evolved primarily to understand stories, emotions, and relationships, not to function as a perfect lie detector. Our brains are excellent at communication and cooperation, but deception adds a layer of complexity that can confuse our natural instincts. Here, on Brenora, exploring these psychological mysteries helps us understand why human behavior is often more complicated than it appears. The brain is incredibly powerful, yet it still has limitations when it comes to reading other people perfectly. The next time you hear a story that sounds slightly suspicious, remember that detecting lies is not always easy, even for intelligent and experienced people. Our brains rely on patterns, trust, and emotions, which can sometimes make deception harder to recognize. Now, I'm really curious about your experience. Have you ever discovered that someone lied to you long after the conversation ended? Or have you ever caught a lie instantly just by noticing something strange? Share your story in the comments, because these real experiences are always fascinating to read. And if you enjoyed learning about the psychology of lying, share this video with a friend who loves understanding human behavior. Don't forget to subscribe to Brenora for more amazing brain and psychology secrets that will help you see the human mind in a completely new way. The brain is full of mysteries, and every video brings us one step closer to understanding how it really works.